Okay, so here I am again. Let's start with the workshop and about how to choose the right colors for your drawings. So, first of all, I'd like to say that when we are talking about colors, we have to keep three things in mind. The first is the hue, the saturation, and the values. The hue is like the color itself, like uh, if it's a red or blue or green. It's like the color itself, the color itself. And so that's it. And the saturation is like how gray or how colorful your color is. So as you can see here in this little square right here, if I go to the left like this, the color begin to get more gray, so it's like desaturated. And if I go to the right, it get more colorful. And the values is like how bright and how dark your color is. So if it goes close to let's go with like close to the white or closer to the black. If you have these three rules in mind, you can really do anything with the colors. And you can see the difference like this. I created a layer right here, this black square, so it's in the color mode. If I put it on, you only see the gray tones like this. So as you can see here on the top, the hue, every kind of color has a different type of variation of gray. But here the saturation, it don't change when I put it in black and white, because I only changing the saturation, not the value. And here you can see the difference between the brightest to the darkest, but they all have the same hue and the same saturation. The difference is the value. Sometimes when you're trying to paint and the colors don't get very well, you can see there's something strange, but you don't really know what is it. What is? Probably it's the values that are wrong in some way, because you have to do some contrast like this to keep the image more interesting. So I took here some examples for you. So here's the miles that I did in the last live stream, and because of that I searched other miles drawings. So here is the first time that I drew Miles and Virgil meeting. So it's like a dark scene at night, and here is another drawing of them in the daylight. And the last one that I did is this one at sunset. They are mad because Gwen went away, and she's gone and they don't know what happened. So as you can see here, you can say that they are the same characters, they are wearing the same clothes, but if you pick the colors, you'll see that are different, like this hood right here. In this kind of illumination is this tone. Here, if you pick the color, like this one, and this other drawing, it's this one. So the difference is the environment. The color don't depends on the object, depends on the light that hits the object. So let's go with another example, like this yellow from Static Shot. You should see, actually it's like a pink color, but here in this purple context, it seems like a yellow color. Here in the light, and here on the sunset. It's pretty different, right? Let's do with the Miles costume. As you can see, if I turn the color layer on, the values are very similar. It's to show that they are like talking about the same color. So let's do the last time with the Virgil skin. And you can see how different it is in each context. Like, so that's why when I start to color something, I start with the background. So for this example here, after I do all the sketch, all the line work, I start with the background. So I put like this. It's a degradé, like from purple to pink, and having this base color, my eyes and my brain start to think about it, like this is the, like this pink is almost the how white should look like here. if we go back, maybe it's important to show how white works here. So white is like this, and this one here it's like this, and here white is like this. As you can see, the white actually is some colors, like it's a light purple, light green, and light yellow. As I said before, the color depends on the light, not on the object. So here my brain understands that everything is a little bit purple. So if you check here, this square with the colors to pick, if I go around the purple, pay attention on the square. Like if I go here, here, it's more close to the right side of the square, you know. But if I go to the opposite, like a yellow color, like here, you can see that it goes to the left side of the square. Because as the environment it's like a purple environment, all the colors that are close to purple have a big range of colors to choose. But if you go to the opposite colors, you only work with the saturated in a small range. To understand it a little bit better, you have to study the color wheel and understand why it happens. So, but basically it's like the objects that reflects the purple colors and so reflect more light here than the object that reflects the yellow colors. So again, after that I start doing the base colors here. So, and here is like I'm keep the hue on mine, I keep the saturation on mine, and also here I start to keep the values in my mind. If I put the color layer on, you can see that the here the black is darker than the hood is darker than the jacket, and the same thing here. The glove, the suit. So this contrast, you have to keep contrast in mind to keep your image interesting. So after that I do all the other details and the shadows. It's the same thing here, you know. Here's the background that I use in daylight. If you watch the sky, you can see that the blue is darker on the top and is getting brighter on the bottom. So here I know where's my white. Actually, another important thing to keep in mind is that you don't really want to use the 100% white or black. So you can see even if the Miles costume is a black costume, I don't really use 100% black or here 100% white. It's healthy to keep your color range away from the extreme. So the same thing here. Do all the sketch, line work, and start with the background. After that, I start blocking the base colors, keeping in mind the values to get contrast. So here, as you can see, the brightest thing in this drawing is like the static shock apparat. I don't really know what to call it, like disc, I don't know, with the lightning. Yeah, it's like this. You can see that the jacket, the shorts, the costume on Miles, they all have different shades of gray, and the same thing on Static. Like his skin is darker than this part of the glove, but here is lighter, and this blue is lighter than his costume, and the shoes, the sneakers also is darker than his skin. And after that, boom, the shadows and the light. And the last example that I brought here, the sunset. It's the same thing. Here is like more, the colors keep more likely the hue that we have in mind. Here, the blues are more like blues, the reds are more like reds, greens, yellows, and it keeps going like this. But here, everything goes to a orange aesthetic. So everything that is close to orange, like yellows and reds, get more saturated. And if you go to the blue and purple or green, it gets more desaturated. So the same thing here. I put like this for the sunset. It's like a saturated and light blue goes to a bright saturated yellow and goes to a bright saturated orange, like the sun is going down. And after that I start blocking the colors like this. And again here I can have the different shades of gray, so you can actually see what's happening. And also if you zoom out the image, you can still understand that, oh, there's two boys sitting like this on top of a roof, and the values help you to make it work. And the shadows, if you turn on, it's still working after you do the lightning. that's it. These three examples, it's for like uh, day mood, like afternoon, night, and day. But it can also change the kind of color on the mood, like it's a horror scene, or I don't know. If you want to keep the characters like happy, you can use more like a daylight. If you want to put some drama, you can put like a yellow or a red scheme of colors. I don't know, depends on the color itself won't tell uh, everything. You have to add to what the characters are doing, the expression, the faces. So like the blue color is very used to set characters, but also can be a peaceful drawing, like somebody chilling, drinking some tea or anything. So we have here the smiles, and we can choose what kind of mood that we want. And it's different, like if you start coloring with some background color, like I'm used to do. It's different from coloring with a white background. Uh, Here, like this, we usually use various colors, and when we put some background, we need to paint the things more darker because of this contrast. If you put here, you can see that his skin, the hair, the costume, the hood, the jacket, they all are in different shades of gray. So here's a neutral color scheme. We can change for something different. I don't know. Here I'm changing only the hue. So yeah, here's the saturation, like super saturated, super desaturated, mid-tones, and the values, dark value or bright value. Um, I don't know how to. What kind of mood I'd like to use here. It's pretty serious, but I don't know. Maybe we can put him in a. Let's do what we have here. Nope. I'm gonna use a different kind of background, not a realistic one, just to see how we could how the colors would change. Okay, so here's it's too bright. So here I would change like jacket. It would be more saturated and more like this. Wait, I will. Okay, let's go. So let's saturate it and going a little bit here. The reds can keep. I would go like this. It's black soup. Let's see where it is. Go like this. We don't see a big difference, but it is different. And the color scheme, more purple. This, and his hair. Also. Or like a pink line. Okay. And the eye. You can actually pick here this pink nose. It's too pink. Okay, now, so it's here's like the background makes an influence on the the drawing. So here's how he was before and now. So you can see that this first one looks like, I don't know, a magazine cover. Like he doesn't he don't make part of this drawing. No, it's like he it's not really on the environment, but here it looks like that Miles makes part of environment. So the background light makes some influence on him, and you believe that he's actually there. That's why it's important to keep in mind the lightning and where your character is. If you do the same exercise here, the color of the skin, of the hair, the suit. So you can see the like this little triangle running to a different color. And we don't even need the background to see here that they are on different contexts. I won't do the all the render right now. I'm gonna do a um, different option for the background color. Let's see. If we go to, let's go with some green background. It's like almost the complete opposite. So here his jacket would be more saturated because it's like a blue-green tone, more green than blue here because of the environment. So here is going to be the opposite. What was saturated before now is going to be saturated, and the opposite. So let's take off the saturation. Maybe here. So your brain keeps telling you that it's a red hood, but if we pick the color, we will see that it's not like that. So now it looks like he's on, I don't know, a lab with green light, or don't know. This kind of illumination reminds me of a lab or some sci-fi uh, movie or game. Or like he's in a foreign planet. Looks like he's on Namekusei or something. Piccolo's planet. So here's three kind of um, color scheme. If you see here, you can tell that this is a red color. The same thing here and here, but all tones are different. Now you can choose one of them to do the render. Uh, Actually, I don't know if I have any drawing with this kind of illumination yet. I think I'm gonna do something like this soon. It feels very interesting. But here, let's go with this one. Just to show a little bit for you. I won't have time to do all the lights and all the shadows right now. But here, I don't know, can give him a background like this. Yeah, just to don't start with the white. So here I pick his like here is a red light that is hitting on him, so the more bright, more saturated the color is, because it's closer to the light source. The shadow, on the other hand, is more saturated. So here you can see how everything is working. Like I keep the values on mine. I keep the here on mine because as you can see, look here at this square on the top, the color square. When I go for the mid-tone and I go to the bright, you can see the triangle going more to the red and orange, and the opposite on the shadows, it goes closer to the blue and purple, because it's like this. I take a base color like here, and as I go lighter, I get more saturated, lighter, more saturated, and going back here and here. It's important to keep that in mind because I don't uh, use like a black color to do the shadows or white to do the light. We have to use colors to do this render. If you use like a black layer and work on the opacity to do the shadows, it can work, but will look like a naive kind of painting. The best way is use colors to do the lights and the shadows. of course, it takes some time to get used it, and actually, we never stop learning about colors and illumination. But you have to keep that in mind. I like to add a layer like this and turn the opacity low to give an blood aspect. Like his skin is not. Uh, you can see there is blood behind the skin. It's more easy to see when it's like you put your hand in front of the sun or something like this. You can see the blood between your fingers. It's some kind of this effect that this layer brings. It's a nice touch. So we don't have much time, but I'm gonna be on an interview right after this workshop ends. You can find the link on VirtualCon or on my Instagram. That's here on top. I put the link on the stories. You can swipe up and go right there. It's gonna start in 9 minutes, 8 minutes. But I think the most important things that I had to tell, I already said. That is to keep in mind the hue, the saturation, and the values. If you study these three pillars, you can color anything that you want. Three different color schemes. I really want to draw something in this middle Miles scheme of color. I don't know, but maybe 2 drawings away I do something like this. And here with the shadows and lights, it's more easy to see that he's on a environment that the colors is the light is affecting the colors. That's it, and hope you guys have enjoyed this workshop here. Please check out my Instagram if you are here from the virtual con, and see you guys in a couple of minutes on an interview with Nathan. That's it. Thank you so much, and see you around. Bye.